Hello YouTube, this is Ben Gessel. I do apologize. At some point in time this evening, I'm probably going to get someone coming, visiting briefly. So I might have to, hopefully this doesn't happen while I'm making this video. Don't you guys all love it, the YouTube makers, when that happens? So, yeah, what I'm trying to do until some point in time in the future might change. But at least for now, what I'm trying to do is have my YouTube videos more just not edited, not dudded up, right? Not professional productions or whatever. Just me being very just with you guys. Just all right. So this video is going to focus on. I think it's going to. There's a humorous side to it, or maybe not necessarily just humorous, but maybe kind of something about it's a bit more lighthearted. My last video was pretty heavy. So this is about tropical fruit, right? Tropical fruits. Specifically those that are more in Southeast Asia all the way over to Oceania, Polynesia, that sort of thing. And also Central South America as well. Mexico, sure. Also. Also tropical fruit candy, that subject, or just fruit candy that has some kind of connection there with these tropical fruits. And the traditional Polynesian diet, as well as maybe Filipino diet, Indonesian, all the countries around the Pacific Rim, at least the southern part, or Asia. Maybe a little bit touch on Southeast Asia, maybe, but Southeast Asia, Malaysia, maybe. All right. You can probably. So, again, this is not super outlined, but I know what I'm going to talk about here. So there's a lot of different kinds of tropical fruits. One of the trains of thought I have here is I remember going to Hawaii with my family the first time, and before going to Hawaii, I love juice. I love fruit juice. Oh, I love fruit juice. I have a sweet tooth. I really do have a sweet tooth. I'm gonna get that from my mom's side more maybe. Yeah. And my mom's my mom's grandpa, so my great grandpa, but especially, but there's a lot of different kinds of tropical fruit, and there's a lot of videos out there on YouTube about tropical fruits. I highly recommend you guys watch some of these videos. I can recommend some of them if you have any questions, but there's some really, really cool stuff out there that some of these fruits nobody would know about unless they saw some of these videos on YouTube, and that's, it's great. It's, there's all kinds of great stuff on YouTube. So I'm going to talk about all these different kinds of tropical fruits, but more with the, you'll see where I'm going here in a bit, as well as the candy thing. Okay, so before going to Hawaii, this is a while back, I had Pog. I had mostly tropical fruit in the form of either pineapple or occasionally mango. Occasionally. I didn't really have mango growing up very often at all. It was really more after college, or I kind of discovered it, semi-discovered on my own. I knew what it tasted like a little bit before, but I never had mango much growing up. It's usually pineapple, and never had real papaya. Rarely outside of, we had real papaya. We had papaya in Hawaii. You can just go down the list. There's so many different kinds. Of course, everybody has bananas. Bananas are the most common. So bananas and pineapple. Yeah, bananas and pineapple are probably the main two, other than maybe mango. Those three are the big tropical fruits that those of us in North America, Washington State, are more familiar with. We're probably familiar with, I'm sure, some with guava and things like that too. But it's a question of how often we can get to have them, unless you go to like a Wajimai's Asian fruit market or something. So I had mostly juice, in the form of tropical fruits in the form of juice, or candy, right? Candy. So, and then with the pineapples and the bananas and those kinds of things sometimes too. And so I had, before going to Hawaii, I had this image in my, this thing in my mind, oh man, we're going to have the real stuff. We're going to have, we don't just going to have a regular Pog or whatever we get up in the Northwest. We can have fresh stuff. We get fresh tropical fruit, and we can have fruit juice. It's gonna be and yes, snorkeling and swimming and seeing the volcanoes, and Polynesian Cultural Center and all that other stuff. That's all fine and good. I just want to be able to have real, Hawaiian or tropical fruits, Okay, that was one of my big things I loved about Hawaii, the things I looked forward to the most. Sure, and, beaches are fine, sure. So, and all the flowers, they have all pretty flowers and nice culture. I love Hawaii. I mean, Hawaii, can't say enough about how awesome Hawaii, the original Hawaiian culture is, and also many other countries in Polynesia. I mean, it's, I'm hard pressed to think of, as far as just general kindness goes across the world. I mean, Hawaiian culture is one of the kindest, most friendly, nicest people, and I can't say enough about that. But I'll get to that. That's going to play in here in just more in a bit. Okay, so and particularly from a candy standpoint, when we first hear of these different tropical fruits that we don't have as much of, like the passion fruit, guava, mangosteen, lychee, soursop, and I don't know. We talk about these tastier ones, these sweeter ones that exist somewhere. And there's also heard of ackee, that's in Jamaica, and miracle fruit in Africa, and the acerola cherry in South America, and just keep going. There's the watermelon berry up in Alaska, but I'm not going to talk about the colder weather fruits here. This is all tropical stuff. So when in kiwi fruit, when you first hear about these things, and you have them in the candy form and the real form, there's kind of this thing that builds up in your mind, right? This idea of what it tastes like, or maybe how it's influenced the people, cultures that these fruits grow in, or you went to get to Hawaii and you have some of this stuff, and my dad was, we were able to get a nice place at the Marriott 4-star hotel, and and then there's, of course, there's the whole Oahu is not really Hawaii, and there's Kauai, which is more like a garden area, and then there's the islands that are more Hawaiian. I understand. And then we get to the traditional Polynesian diet, or we'll just say Hawaiian. But there's a kind of a traditional, the older foods, the foods that were eaten in older times that are considered still more traditional for Polynesians. And like I say, there's probably some little uniquenesses here and there with different islands, Samoa versus Tonga versus Fiji versus Tahiti versus French Polynesia versus Hawaii versus. I get that there's little differences, but there's some things that are kind of in general pretty similar. And I just recently looked up online, what did the Polynesians, Hawaiian, Samoan, Tongan, or Melanesian, and Micronesian, what did all the people in Oceania, basically, all the different islands, what were they eating before the sweeter tropical fruits from Southeast Asia and things came in, as well as the fruits from maybe South and Central America, or some of them maybe had their origin over there. What were they eating originally, back in the medieval times or before then? What I found out, though, and this is, again, I kind of had a suspicion this was the case, but, and I know this maybe is, like, some people don't seem to, I would think a lot of people know this, but maybe a lot of people don't. The traditional Polynesian diet really didn't, to me, as far as I know, I currently understand it, didn't really seem to include very many colorful, well, I'll just say sweeter fruits. They had, like, I think a purple sweet potato. Of course, their main, we're talking about taro, basically. Poi from the taro root, right? That's their main starch. And they had maybe some other kind of white or yellow, the outside of some of these things maybe green, but they had some lighter colored fruit, or things that might be considered fruit from trees, but not necessarily weren't very sweet tasting. A lot of starchy root crops and things. Not necessarily, again, this is the tropics we're talking about, so we're not talking necessarily about a bunch of salads and things. We're talking about things that grow in the ground, like the roots, the starchy, or things that can grow in trees or pine. So, as far as I know, the breadfruit goes pretty far back, and I'm sure I'm going to forget some of these guys. The kinds of foods outside of the taro root. Um, but it seems like again earlier on, we're talking about fish, a lot of fish. I'm not sure they had chicken at some point. They had chicken, but mostly fish and taro, and I think kava root. They had a kind of licorice type flavor to it, mild, but you mix it with water, so just a lot of water. And then I think they only had pig, roast pig, or for more special occasions. This was more filling for like a luau kind of thing. But we're not, so I know what you're thinking. Okay, yeah, we're gonna eventually, bit by bit, get to the sweeter fruits like pineapple, as well as guava, mango, passion fruit, and I can still double check where these different sweeter fruits came from. But eventually, you get these sweeter fruits in Oceania, very very popular, very sweet, more sugary. And people, I'm sure everyone's just like, yeah, it tastes great. We love it stuff. And so maybe as more those crops grew, pineapple especially. There's all the other ones as well from Southeast Asia. There's a whole list. Mangosteen, longan, lychee, soursop, and cherimoya, and I mentioned mangosteen, tamarinds in Mexico. And yeah, I don't know. There's a whole bunch of them, and then there's stinky durian. I know, but there's all the other ones. There's I don't know, carambola, star apple, and all. There's like hundreds and hundreds of them, like thousands, maybe thousands. And I'm not. I know there's like the stinky noni fruit. It's stinking. So, but yeah, I mean, eventually you have all these sweet fruits that get in there, and there's more land devoted to growing those things. And some of the, I don't know, it's just that, and then of course later on we get to the modern era, and we had World War II, and we have the introduction of Spam, right? And of course Hawaiians seem to really go for Spam. What am I trying to say here? I guess I'm trying to say I had this idea in my mind that Polynesians had some kind of colorful fruits, sweet fruits. When in reality, it looks like they had a little more starchy diet with fish and things, maybe lean stuff earlier on. And that sweeter thing is more of a recent thing. And as well as like all the fatty Spam stuff and the pork and the everything. And so it's something I haven't kind of known about a little bit vaguely when I was younger. What I'm trying to say is, gosh, yeah, we think like, party, beaches, luau, go get a pineapple, go have some roast pork, and, the poi we kind of push aside, or the long rice or whatever from the Philippines. And, there's some foods that aren't quite as appetizing, right, that are at these luau's, that are traditional foods. They're not quite as tasty. The thing I have to remember is, gosh, sweet fruits are great, but maybe, it makes you think. It makes you think, oh, maybe we don't need all these sweet fruits to really have a great time eating or enjoy life. You can just have lean protein and water and a little bit of starch and some healthy fruits. I mean, a lot of places, cut out red meat and, things. I don't know. It starts to have it's a simpler kind of diet, but yeah, it's very, very healthy still. They're getting all the nutrients they needed. All these, as far as we know, and the fish probably really helped with all the iodine and calcium. And they didn't eat dairy as much, got a lot of their calcium, vitamin D from fish, and clams, and all their other minerals and things. And then from the roots, they had even other minerals, and they had potassium and all the vitamin C they can handle. And so, maybe it's great. I believe me, I would still rather have the more modern luau, party meals. But there's something to, again, the thought process of, you don't really need all that stuff. Even if you're in Polynesia. I know how tempting. I know nowadays, soft drinks are everywhere, And in some places people talk a lot about how people's teeth are a lot worse in the Pacific, and it's all the sugar and things, and unless you brush. So I imagine the subject has probably been something very much discussed amongst a lot of people, like grandparents and parents to kids and things in the Oceania areas, in the Samoa and Tonga and Fiji and Marshall Islands and everywhere down there. They probably say, there was a time when we didn't have all this stuff. And, we were very healthy. And, just had water, right? Or kava root stuff. So, okay, just wrap things up here. So on the one hand, I had this preconception, a little bit of Hawaiian cuisine. We'll say Hawaiian cuisine, Hawaiian food. And a little bit about how that applied to Hawaiian culture, perhaps a little bit. When the reality is that, original Hawaiian culture, yes, they're very kind and friendly, but there's probably a little bit more, maybe they weren't quite as surrounded by all this sweet, sugary, fruity goodness from all the different colors of the rainbow, right? Perhaps it was a little bit simpler, and perhaps it's good to think about, what? Maybe sometimes you could use less of that, and we'll still be really healthy. I think fruit's still really healthy, but anyway, I'll catch you guys later. Take care. Bye.